Hey friends, and we're live. Thank you so much for being here. So today I just want to share with you guys tips that I've learned over the years and from working with a lot of brides over the last 5 years that I've been in business, especially in the bridal industry, and just to give you advice, especially if you are newly engaged and you want to start looking for a makeup artist or a hairstylist for your big day. It can be extremely overwhelming. I know, because I'm also planning my own wedding, to look for your vendors because there are so many people that are doing the same thing. I'm sure that if you Google makeup artists in Orange County, you'll get hundreds and thousands of people that are doing the same thing. So I want to help by giving you advice on how you can start narrowing down your search so that you don't have to go and do 5 different trials with 5 different artists just to be disappointed, because makeup trials and hair trials are not cheap and it's not free either. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to save you some money. I want to save you some time. So I want to give you some advice as a makeup artist. So this broadcast is great, especially if you're newly engaged. And now that we are heading into the holiday seasons, a lot of people get proposed to during the holiday season. So if you are about to be proposed to or getting married in 2019, definitely hang around for this live video. And but also too, this is I also was inspired to do this live broadcast for my makeup artists who are looking to start or transition to become a bridal makeup artist. I want to be able to share with you what you can do as well too when you understand what your clients are looking for. That way you can position yourself as the expert and you can market yourself in a way that will attract your ideal customers, and naming brides, right? Okay, so if this is the first time you're catching me live, my name is Kathy. I am the owner of Kathy Huynh Artistry. I'm a bridal makeup artist and I'm also a business coach. I love empowering women to do what they love, get out of their 9-to-5 job so that they can make a side income and do this as a side hustle like I did 5 years ago. So without further ado, I just want to get right into it. So when you first are looking for a makeup artist or hairstylist or just any wedding vendors in general, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. So the first thing that you want to ask is, what is most important to you? Is it the sorry, I'm like dropping things right now. So what is most important to you? Is it the pricing of what the vendors will charge? Is it the quality of work? Is it the customer service that they have? Is it the professionalism? Like, what is it? Like, what factors are important to you for your big day? For some, budget and pricing is the number one. So if a vendor is out of range, is out of their budget, even by a little bit, they won't go with them. So you just and it varies depending on who you are. So you want to just take a minute and just figure out for you what is most important. For some people, they don't. So in my experience, pricing, people think that pricing is usually kind of like the top priority. So they, as an artist, they feel as though if they charge less, more people will book them. But in my experience, that isn't always true. Because here's the thing, what a bride is willing to pay, it's different. Each person has a different budget, and what your client is actually looking for is the value in what they're getting in comparison to what they're paying. So whatever it is that the bride is paying, she wants to know that every penny is worth it, okay? So back to the point that if you are a bride, I want you to take a minute and write down what is important to you, and I want you to list it in order. Again, is it the customer service? Is it the experience that you're going to be getting? Is it the pricing? Is it the quality of work? And so now that you have your list, you know what it is that you're looking for. So on that list, you know what's non-negotiable and what's most important to you. And then what you want to do, so let me backtrack, okay? So once you have that list, it's a great kind of like a reference for you. But the next thing that you want to do is you want to now start your search. And I also want to mention that when you start your search for your artist, you don't want to only lead with pricing, because the thing is, most likely you're gonna pay for what you get. If you want something really cheap, you're gonna get cheap quality work. If you want something, cheap, you're gonna you potentially could get a very poor experience. Who knows, your artist might not even show up. So don't always lead with only the price, because as we all know, and as I know very well with this, is we always go out of budget, right? And investing in our makeup and hair for our big day is one of the biggest investments that we can make, because you're gonna be in every single photos. So you might as well look really good in all of them, because once the wedding is over, the only thing you have left for memories are your photos. So you want to definitely make sure that your pictures come out great and that you look great in them. So don't shortchange yourself, and don't feel like, oh my gosh, the budget, this is all I can spend on makeup and hair. You can always cut down the budget on something else that's less important. But you have to take time for you, and you have to make sure that you are satisfied with the way you look on your wedding day, because you only get one day and everybody will be looking at you. Okay, so that was my one tip. So don't just lead with money. Okay, you want to be open to different options, and you also don't want to assume that, let's say you start your search right on social media for your artist. You don't want to start your search and only just look at the pictures on Instagram, because the thing is, pictures on Instagram, it's a great reference of the work of that particular artist. I use Instagram. 75-80% of my clientele comes through Instagram. That's how they find me. But at the same time, you don't want those photos to be the only point of reference when you are looking for your vendors. You want to take a look at their picture, and what you're actually looking for when you look at their portfolio is, does this artist represent my style, and does she or he represent what I stand for and what's important to me and what I value. Okay, so it goes beyond just how pretty is their Instagram page, how many followers they have. It's the fact that you have to look at their portfolio and basically make a connection to see if this is someone that you potentially want to work with. Now, let me tell you, I've had a lot of brides that have come to me as a second or third trial, because they've gone to other artists that they've looked at on Instagram. They like what they saw. They booked the artist, come and find out that they hated working with them. So they ended up canceling everything and went on to another artist. So I don't want that to happen to you, because it can cause a lot of stress, a lot of money, and a lot of time. And I'm sure most of us are working full-time jobs, and we don't have time to waste just kind of hunting around, going 4 or 5 different people to find the right person that's going to be doing our makeup and hair. So that's what I want you to also pay attention to. You want to not only look at their work, but just really looking at what they represent, and if you get a vibe, if they really are kind of like the person you want to work with. Because from the time that you book them for a trial to the time that you actually get married, there's going to be a lot of interactions between you and them, you and the vendor, and you want to make sure that this is somebody that you want to stay in communication with, and somebody that's easy for you to work with. And easy, is subjective, so whatever that means for you, you want to look for that particular person. Okay, and okay, and also too, you want to reach out to these artists that you're interested in working with, So that way you can reach out to them via email, you can reach out to them via text messages, or you know, on DM, whatever the preferred way of communication is, or even give them a call so that you get an idea of how they behave, like how they handle themselves. And basically it's like, what kind of vibe are you getting from them, right? So if you reach out to an artist and they never respond, and you get a response from them, let's say a week or two later, like what does that tell you about the artist, right? It tells you that they don't value your business, or they're too busy for you, or I don't know, or they're not as professional. And does that, and is that important to you? Is professionalism important to you? Do you want somebody that would answer your texts or your emails as soon as possible, or you don't care? Right? So by having that, reaching out to them and having that initial interaction with them is going to be very important, because it gives you an idea, even before you meet them, what type of person they are and how they handle themselves as a vendor. And that will tell you a lot, right? So if they respond right away, they're super informative, they are very helpful, it makes you feel good, you feel like you can trust them, then you know that, hey, this potentially might be somebody that I want to work with. Or in the case where they don't respond to your email, they don't respond to your phone call, they never call you back, you know, or they answer your questions with just one word answer, you know what I mean? So you can get a vibe of like who they are, and that's super, super important. And before I move on, this is a great piece, especially if you are an artist that's looking to thrive in the bridal industry. You want to pay attention to how you are communicating with your clients. And I'm not just talking about like in person, I'm talking about way before they even meet you. Like how do you handle yourself by in your communication? Are you thorough? Are you professional? Are you likable? Do you sound like you know what you're doing? You know, those are all the factors of what your potential client could be looking for. Okay. All right, so those are kind of like the things that you want to pay attention to. And also one more thing too is you also want to look at reviews of whoever you want to, of an artist that you're trying to book. Reviews is a great way of like reference. And I honestly don't believe in just, you know, I always take reviews with a grain of salt, right? But what I would suggest is if you see a lot of reviews and you read through them and there's always like a common theme, then I would say that that is pretty accurate, because if more than one person is saying the same thing, then that might be kind of like the ongoing theme for this particular artist. So seek out other people that might have worked with them, or look at reviews and see what they are saying, and make a judgment call from there. Okay. Okay. So then now I want to give you, if you are just starting out, you're newly engaged, again, if that's you, congratulations. If you're just barely starting out looking for your vendors, I want to help you by giving you a couple steps that you can follow to hopefully narrow down your search. So the first thing that you want to do is the easiest way nowadays to search for, oh, hey, Vicky, thank you so much for being here. Okay, so the easiest way nowadays for makeup artists and hairstylists and just anybody in the beauty industry is to be up on Instagram, because that's a great way for us to promote our work, and kind of like use it as like an online portfolio, which is a great platform. And so that's where I would suggest, if you are somebody that's searching out an artist, that's where you want to start. And what you want to do is use a hashtag to search for your local artist, because you most likely don't want to book somebody that's completely out of your area, because I mean, unless you really, really like them and totally feel like they are worth it. A lot of the times what will happen though is the artist that's out of your area, they will charge you an extra travel fee for them to come to you on your wedding day. So you want to start with the artist that's in your area, and you can do this on Instagram by using hashtag. So let's say, for instance, if I'm an Orange County makeup artist, if I'm an Orange County bride, I'm getting married in Orange County, I would definitely go search up the hashtag Orange County makeup artist or OC makeup artist, and just kind of look through the feed to see if like a piece of work that's posted or a picture that catches my eye. And a lot of times what you want to also look for too is transformation pictures. And for the transformation pictures, you want to make sure that the two pictures are alike, like they're similar as in lighting, they're similar in like outfits, and that you can compare apples to apple. Sometimes I see before and after photos where it's like one is indoor and then the after photo it's outdoor. So it's very hard for you as somebody that's looking to see the comparison. It's very hard for you to compare somebody that's being photographed indoor versus outdoor. So when you are looking through that feed, when you search up the hashtag, just make sure that you're trying to find photos, before and after photos that are kind of like a good comparison. And also too, you want to make sure that you are looking for an artist or a photo of makeup that represents your personal style and preferences. It doesn't matter how many followers an artist has, because a lot of followers just doesn't mean that they're going to do amazing work on you, okay? And the thing that I've seen a lot is an artist and a client should be able to match as far as like style-wise. For instance, let's say I'm kind of somewhere in between the very natural bride to the very glam bride. I'm right smack, I would say in the middle somewhere. Like I can go really natural or really glam, but for the most part, it's my preferred style is I call them natural glam. So they're kind of like, I married the both of them together. So I attract brides that are looking for that particular style, right? So what you want to do as you're searching as well too is look for images that represent the style that you want. Let's say if you want something pretty natural, very soft, you don't want to go with an artist that posts a lot of pictures on all of the glamorous makeup that they've done, and if their portfolio has 75% of glam makeup photos and just like 25% of natural makeup, then you most likely will know that their preferred style, it's going to be the glam side, which means they're going to be more heavy-handed, and they might not be able to give you the look that you want. So that is very, very important thing to keep in mind, right? Even if they have 100,000 followers or whatever it is, or 1 million followers, it doesn't mean that they're the right artist for you. And that's the important part. Every artist is going to be different. They're not created equal, and the key is to find somebody that will mesh with you, will be able to deliver the look that you want. Okay. All right. So then the next step I have is the next step is, which I mentioned earlier, is once you find an artist that you look at their profile, it looks legit. You look at their before and after pictures, it looks as though this is somebody that would has the same style that you want, and that's someone that you potentially want to work with. Then you want to look for reviews online somewhere. Most people will have a Yelp page that they put reviews, or on Facebook. You want to go through and read those reviews and kind of get an idea of what the common theme is, okay? If you have, a bunch of reviews that says they never respond, they're unprofessional, so that might tell you something. Or if you see reviews that are saying, oh, they're great, they're really accommodating, easy to work with, and that's a common theme, then you know what to expect, right? So that's also important. Or if you know somebody that might have worked with them before, with the artist before, you can reach out to them and maybe ask them what the experience was like, okay? Okay, so then next is, once you, let's say you look at the reviews and you're completely happy with what you hear, what you see, then the next step is reaching out to them, right? You want to reach out to them via, I would normally say if you can call them, that's a good option, because that way you can communicate with them on the phone and really get a vibe of who they are and you know what they're about. But if that isn't possible, because I totally understand artists work a lot and sometimes they're not available via phone, so an email or a text message would be good. And what you're looking for in this is how they are responding to you, and are they helpful? Are they pretty accommodating? Have they answered all of your questions? And are they answering or are they responding to you in a reasonable amount of time? And when I say reasonable amount of time, I mean anywhere from 24 to 48 hours would be reasonable amount of time. A week or two, probably not. I mean, I understand, like, artists are busy. I'm extremely busy, but you definitely have to make time to answer your emails and respond to inquiries from your clients, okay? And so let's say all of that goes through and you're ready. What I would do is then go ahead and ask for their pricing, right? So the reason why I said ask for their pricing, like once you do all of that, is because, like I mentioned earlier, you don't want to lead with just what is your price, and if you're in my price point, then I'll book you, right? Because here's the thing, because what if you go through this process and you really get to know this artist and they're a little bit out of your budget? Are you not going to book them? You know, even though you've created a connection with them, you really like them and you know that they are professional and that they will come through on your wedding day and will give you the least amount of stress. Like, isn't that worth paying a little bit more? Right? Because if you lead with how much is it going to cost me, that person that you're talking to might have already been eliminated a long time ago because they're a little bit out of your budget, right? So once you go through all of this, then you ask for the pricing, and this is where you can make the determination. Do you like this artist enough to pay a little bit more for them and to have them do your makeup on the wedding day? Or even, like, is this somebody that you potentially want to do a trial with? Right? So that's kind of the questions that you want to ask yourself. So that's why the pricing part, I say, is just to save for kind of like towards the end, okay? And now let's say they give you their pricing, and the last step is they give you their pricing and you say, okay, this sounds reasonable, you know, it's not way out of budget or whatnot. Then the next step is you want to schedule a makeup trial, also known as a makeup preview or consultation session. You always want to schedule a preview session, and you want to always schedule a preview session about 6 months, like 5 to 6 months before your wedding day. If you need to do it 4 months, okay, that's kind of like cutting it close. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you for some reason do a trial with your makeup artist and you really don't like it, maybe it didn't come out the way you really wanted, maybe they were using products that you didn't really like, or whatever the reason is, right? If you end up not really liking that trial or the preview session, you'll have some time to look for somebody else. Okay, versus if you don't give yourself enough time to do a trial, and let's say you wait for 3 months, 3 months to do your trial with the first artist. If you don't like them, you might be out of luck because you're out of time. You're out of time and you don't have a lot of different options around anymore. Okay, so that's why you kind of want to do the previous session earlier. And you also want to ask your artist if it's okay for you to do a preview session on a day that you do your engagement shoot or have a bridal party or a special occasion where they will be either getting their photos taken or they're going to be around a lot of people. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because sometimes, you know, you can come for a trial and you think you look amazing, and then you go home or you go to your friends and they don't really like it, right? And then it will create doubt in your mind because now you're like, well, I don't know if I really look good or not. So the reason why I say you want to ask to see if you can do it on one of those days is so that you can get feedback from other people, and also too, you can you get feedback from your friends and family, and also too you get the opportunity of seeing how the makeup will last all day, as if it was on your wedding, as if it will be on your wedding day. Okay, and so that's really important. Plus, you don't want to waste the hair and makeup that you've already put on anyway. Okay, so and another thing too, I said make sure you ask, because some makeup artists will charge you a different price. So if you use they'll charge you a different price. If they know that you're going to be using it for engagement photos, they'll charge you more. So I mean, to each their own, right? So that's the beauty of being your own boss. You can charge whatever rate you want, right? So if you can do that, that would be excellent. And then after the trial, you want to, preferably if you can, my one advice for trial is you want to do it in the morning. You want to do it in the early morning, and keep the makeup on throughout, like towards the end of the night, so right before you go to bed. And the reason why I say that is you want to make sure that you want to see how it lasts on your face, if you have any reaction, and then you can go back to your artist and give them these feedback. All right, so I think that's what I have. And then if you want to move forward, of course, then you'll reach out to them and you'll sign a contract and put your deposit to secure your artist. Now, at that point, if you absolutely don't like the look that the artist gave you, then you're more than welcome to just move on and look for somebody else. Because again, like I said, my intentions are to help guide you to know what it is that you're looking for, things that you want to do and don't do, so that you don't have to go through 5 different artists and pay for 5 different trials. I want to make sure that you are narrowing down your search so that the people that you do actually book to do the trial with has a high potential of somebody that you want to work with. Okay, so that's what I have for today, and also too, like I mentioned earlier, this would be great advice for if you are a makeup artist wanting to start your career in the bridal industry. Now that you kind of know what your clients are looking for as they start out on their search, it's a great idea to brainstorm and come up with ways that you can position yourself as somebody that's trustworthy, reliable, professional, and that way you would attract more of the clients that are looking to book services for the big day. All right, so you guys, this is all I have. I know this is a weird off hour that I'm here. However, I hope that a lot of you can catch the replay, and do me a favor, please share this video if you have a girlfriend or a guy friend that's getting married soon, so that they don't have to be so overwhelmed in their search. All right, I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. I'm like, what day is today? Okay, I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday, and thank you so much, Vicky, for being here. I hope you guys have an amazing hump day. Bye, you guys.